Get ready for some Philly sports talk. Sixers, Phillies, Flyers, and the Birds.
He's an athlete. Give him the ball. He can make plays.
I can't help but feel incredibly right.
There's a lot to unpack here.
It makes you less happy, which is exactly what I want.
Let's do it. 3, 2. Philly!
Hello, everybody. Hello, Philadelphia. Welcome back once again to yet another edition of the Wolves of Broad Street podcast. As always, my name is Ryan Conway, and joining me here is my illustrious co-host and wartime consigliere, Sam Glavin. And, of course, we have our producer behind the glass, Seamus G., responsible in part for that lovely intro video you just watched along with his brother Eamon. They chopped it up, shot it all. Beautiful stuff. Sam...
Cool.
Sam, there's a lot to be happy about in the world of Philly sports as well. Not just the relative professionalism of the Wolves of Broad Street podcast increasing, but also the win total for the Sixers increasing. The NFL season is coming down to a close, and we are going to open up to talk about Brandon Graham. Though it is a little sad story that we're not breaking the news that Brandon Graham retired, but we got to talk about Brandon Graham, as he is, kind of an icon here in Philadelphia after, his years on the Birds. Am I wrong there?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it sucks that we got to see this guy only for like a couple full seasons, in his prime, at least. It's heartbreaking to see that injuries, just kind of took away the bulk of his career. We were excited for him to come back this year and, be like a captain on that offensive line along with Jason Kelsey. I mean, it was going to be a seasoned offensive line. And then he got hurt in the first game or maybe the second game. I don't really remember, but very, very early on. And it just sucks. But he had a good career. So glad that he's got a Super Bowl with us too. And it's just it's unfortunate. But the other good part is that it frees up a lot of fucking money. So
yeah, man.
That's pretty
Brandon
cool.
Brooks, he did great for us in the trenches. He served, he served up a can of whoop ass every snap when he was healthy. Unfortunately, had those injuries. But hey, he's doing us a solid now. He took a pay cut, and then also, what did he do? He took a pay cut, and then was just like, I'm gonna hang it up. We're good to go. No issues whatsoever. And that takes a really that takes a man of integrity, Brandon Brooks. Now I do believe both Sam and I did say Brandon Graham because there's two very important Brandons on the team right now, but now there's only one, so that will not be a mistake that's made in the future.
Correct.
just so much going on, so much behind the scenes drama here at the Wolves of Broad Street podcast that our minds are racing, and it is hot in here.
Yeah, is it?
It is hot. So, Sam, with that cap space, there's a lot of different areas that the Eagles could address, but I think obviously the main. Oh my God, you're right. This is freaking me out. There it is. So
I was wondering what that was. Yeah,
that's what it was, dude.
Yeah,
that's what threw it off completely.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of options, but I think the number one thing that we have to look at for the Birds right now with that free agency is potentially that wide receiver position. But there's also, Sam, with that cap space, we also can maneuver for a wide receiver in the trade market as well. You got Tyler Boyd out in Cincinnati. You got Calvin Ridley, two very, very good players that, not a lot of room for him in that offensive rotation, possibly after this year for Tyler Boyd. But those two names, do they interest you? And then I also have a mock trade for Boyd for you to share.
Well, depending on what your trade scenario is for Boyd, I would much rather Calvin Ridley. I mean, he's the guy who I'm most familiar with, actually. But I think that he had a great time with the Falcons while they went on that run. Who's he with now, or is he still with the Falcons?
He's still with the Falcons.
Is he still with the Falcons?
Season off, had some mental health stuff, had to take a step back. But I mean, if there's any city that's going to be understanding of that, I mean, take a look at Philadelphia with Lane Johnson. I mean,
Mm-hmm. I agree.
He took that break. The organization was very cool. So I think that does kind of help us just kind of, there's been a track record with the organization dealing with it very well. So obviously that support system is something that's good to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but in terms of the wide receiving core as a whole, I mean, I said it at the beginning of the year that this receiving core was going to be missing a veteran presence, and that's exactly what Calvin Ridley would be for this core. And Devontae Smith had a phenomenal year, and he should still be the focal point, I think. And he hasn't been, but I think that will change next season after he's got a year under his belt. But Calvin Ridley would be a beautiful pairing with him. I mean, it'd just be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Calvin Ridley's a wide receiver that we've seen has the talent, hasn't always had, the guys on the team that can, support him, has not always, Matt Ryan, as much as we love Matt Ryan, Philly guy, Matty Ice.
Yeah.
He's getting up there. He hasn't really been the most reliable quarterback at times. So to kind of get him in here, work him in with this solid wide receiving core that we've already got going with a young developing quarterback in Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. And I just looked, he's only 27, Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, man. A lot of time left. So we can we can throw a decent contract at him. Once we kind of get him here, he'll have that time once we trade for him. But I've kind of liked that fit. But then also, Sam, this is a trade that I think you'll like.
Okay.
For Tyler Boyd. You saw Joe Burrow in the pocket.
Yeah.
For Cincinnati. Getting sacked. Was that 8 times, 9 times in that divisional round?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we, meanwhile, have kind of a lot of talent on our offensive line, so much so that we could actually afford to part with perhaps a pretty decent pick. In fact, a high draft pick in Andre Dillard, straight up for Tyler Boyd. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, that'd be phenomenal. I don't think they do it.
Why not?
Because he sucks.
No, he doesn't. He's fine. He's fine.
Dillard? Yeah.
He doesn't suck, dude. He doesn't suck. It's not his fault that as much as I say that he sucks, it's more because take a look at Jordan Mailata. I mean, the guy's like potentially a generational talent at the left tackle position. I mean, he could be a historically great Hall of Famer, considering, I mean, I understand he's only played like 1 full season, 2 full seasons at left tackle, but there's not many left tackles in the league better than Jordan Mailata. So that can't hurt your stock too much, especially when, come on, Joe Burrow's on his ass 9 times.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they don't really have any other choice,
right?
Which is pretty cool, but man, but we just rip, and the team has ripped Andre Dillard too. Like they have clearly said that, hey, like he lost the spot to Jordan Mailata.
Because Jordan Mailata is one of the best left tackles in football. That's not Andre Dillard's fault. Andre Dillard can't control how good Jordan Mailata is, but what he can control is how good he is, and clearly nobody on that Cincinnati offensive line is better than Andre Dillard. You take a look at also Dillard in limited time this season. He wasn't bad. He was not bad. Even in that game against the Cowboys, when they played all their starters and we had our backup offensive line, Dillard didn't look bad. And
you're right,
meanwhile,
because I didn't notice him out there.
Did he get an illegal man downfield? Sure, but it happens. It happens when you've got Gardner Minshew back there and an entire offensive line made up of backups. But I do think that this Tyler Boyd trade, I think it's feasible too. I do think like Howie Roseman's the kind of GM to pull the trigger on a deal like that. If there were going to be a GM in Philadelphia to make a big move, it'd be Howie Roseman and Daryl Morey up there trying to make those moves. And I do think that would really help this team out, and then also afford us to use our draft picks elsewhere.
How about we throw in a sweetener with another first round draft pick in Jalen Reagor? Just get him out of here,
Just toss him
something. In. We could obviously get something else back, but I don't know what it would be. But I would love a little extra something other than Tyler Boyd if we include Jalen Reagor, but also just get the hell out of here.
That is what's tough, man. That is what's tough with the whole situation.
Hey, and maybe Joe Burrow's the kind of quarterback that can turn him around. I don't know. We'll see. But
yeah, man, Joe Burr. he could easily turn Jalen Reagor around.
And
So
that's not
I don't see
I wouldn't call like the Cincinnati like Bengals a ferocious fan base like the Eagles fans are.
No.
But, so I think that might be a good fit. Who knows? Who knows? You heard it here first, folks. That's the trade that's gonna happen right there.
Yeah, man. I like it. And I know,
dude, that's 2 first-round picks right there. Just gone.
gone. Dude, I would quite literally take a bag of Cracker Jacks
Yeah.
for
And so would Bert.
for Jalen Reagor.
Mm-hmm. So would Bert.
Pretty much simple mathematics there. That's just business. Let the market decide. The market has clearly made its choice. But Sam, also, did you see on Twitter Cincinnati Bengals cornerback Eli Apple, formerly of the New York Giants and the New Orleans Saints? Did you see him just like go off and just kind of go on a random Twitter rant and just take shots at Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts?
I did, and then I saw the video replies, which were hilarious. Just him getting absolutely cooked by just anybody in the league. Like, even some no names in there, just getting absolutely worked. It was so funny.
It's amazing, dude. Because it was someone tweeted something at him because he was talking crazy about everybody too. Yeah. It wasn't just Smitty and Jay. He was talking about like how New Orleans is like the worst city in America. Meanwhile, Jamar Chase is from the New Orleans metro area.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be so fucking mad if I was Jamar Chase. I'd be like, what the fuck? But Darius Slay obviously caught wind of this and then saw the Super Gremlin low light tape. That was what it was entitled, the Super Gremlin highlights, which was just beautiful. And awesome. I was a little surprised to see Slay just go out and claim a life like that on the timeline. I was a little,
and to a guy in his own position too.
Yeah, like, dude. There's normally kind of some brotherly love there amongst position groups. You see tight ends, offensive linemen, guys show love all across the league. Corners, I thought they had that too, but I think the Eagles, faithfulness kind of took over there, and Slay had to put him in a body bag real quick. Which was just great to see. You love to see a franchise cornerstone go out and make a big play in the offseason like that.
Yeah, you know what the crazy part is, and maybe you've said this already, but I just looked up Eli Apple. He's from Philadelphia.
No.
Yeah, fully from Philadelphia. Yeah, no, fully from Philly. Yeah,
you're shitting me.
No, I don't know.
Oh my
I'm trying to find
God.
out where he went to high school, but he played at Ohio State, which I knew, and then he got drafted by the Giants.
He went to Eastern Regional High School in Voorhees, New Jersey.
I don't know, man. It says born in Philadelphia. So.
Well, a lot of people are born in Philadelphia, Sam.
Yeah, I don't know. It just looks.
No, he is a Philly guy, I guess. I mean, if we include South Jersey in that kind of umbrella, then yeah, I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. Wow, that's grim. That's kind of disappointing to find out. But then again, I guess it would make sense. Of course, one of the worst corners in the league is from here. I mean, he grew up watching some of the worst defensive backs to ever take a football field over the last decade. It's truly been something spectacular. So he had a lot of tape to watch and learn how to get cooked on numerous occasions by pretty much anybody that even wants to try to do it.
Yeah, weird. I didn't know that he was I didn't do any research into like where he went to, but that's crazy that he was in South Jersey and not Philly. Who did we have this argument about with earlier?
Deion Waiters.
It was Deion Waiters. It was like early in the
he was from North Philly and grew up in North Philly, but then went to a school in Jersey.
Yes.
That then I mapped and was closer to Philadelphia than where you went to high school.
Yeah,
and
which is totally fine.
Which was a fun. I'm not Natalie Eganoff, all right? I'm not going to actually.
I was going to say that's pretty Natalie of you. Right
give
there.
Me the map. What a fucking. Never mind. Well, but Sam, it is kind of over for the Birds, obviously, and things are going to start to. We're going to start to move towards mock draft season. We're not there quite yet, but I do just kind of want to talk AFC Championship, NFC
Yeah, I was
Championship.
gonna.
Real quick,
Yeah.
just talk. Who you got, Sam? Who you got going to the bowl?
Man, it's tough. So in terms of the AFC, man, I think that's going to be a really good game. And the Chiefs are 7-point favorites right now.
That's disrespectful.
It is. And I would take those points. I would if I was Cincinnati. Dude, if we're talking about last weekend, those point spreads were unbelievable last weekend. I would have won so much money because I would have bet like pretty much each underdog. Everybody covered. It was crazy.
It was nuts.
And this week I feel like that's the same thing with the Bengals and the Chiefs. I don't think it's that Kansas City's going to beat them by 7 points. I mean, maybe they will, but I would take those points. I feel like those are easy points to take on for Cincinnati. But I do think the Chiefs pull it out. I don't.
Yeah, I mean it's the Chiefs, right?
It's the Chiefs. Yeah, it's the Chiefs. So
Josh Allen played like the game of his life, and Patrick Mahomes went, "No, sorry, let me just sweep the rug out from under you completely." That was the most absurd football game I've ever seen in my entire life.
9 touchdowns in 2 games. Josh Allen had lost.
He is a fucking alien. He's an alien.
And the best part for me is that he is a total fucking weirdo. Like if you have watched like some interviews like with his teammates, they're like, yeah, that guy is insane and like a goofball. Like I don't we don't get it.
Dude.
So funny.
I mean, Josh Allen was one of those guys like coming out of the draft. Like, I mean, he played at Colorado. Like he was a guy I obviously had never heard of until Bleacher Report did a feature on him ahead of the draft because they're like, yo, look at this random fucking guy that no Power 5 schools recruited, went to JUCO, and then went to Colorado. Bandit. Not exactly. No, Wyoming.
Yeah, I didn't think it was Wyoming.
It was not Colorado. Colorado's way too good of a football program. It was Wyoming. He went to Wyoming. What the fuck? But he just chucks pigskins a quarter mile. It's disgusting.
Yeah, he's very, very good.
I saw one thing. It was like going through progressions with Josh Allen. And it's just like, oh, here's the play. Stephon Diggs down the sideline. Bad quarterbacks would throw here. He's double covered. And then, they'll find the intermediate route over the middle for a sizable gain. No. And then it's like goblin quarterbacks do this. And it's just a deep bomb to Gabriel Davis over top the entire Kansas City defense. And he's a fucking goblin, man. I don't know what to tell you. But it's a shame. It is a shame that I really wanted Bills in the Super Bowl. I thought that would be cool. But, hey, we got Bengals, Chiefs. I mean, Chiefs will probably win, but obviously my boy Joey B. Obviously my boy Jamar Chase. These are my golden sons.
Yes.
Seamus G's homie, T. Higgins. Don't think I forgot.
Yeah.
Seamus G was right. Let the record show. Yeah. He was right about T. Higgins.
I would definitely be rooting for the Bengals. No question about it.
Go fucking Bengals, baby.
Go Bengals. Joe Burr.
Joe Burr? Joe
In terms of the other game, who is it? It's the
Niners fucking Rams. I don't care. I don't care.
I don't care about that game. You're right. I really don't.
Don't care. It's going to be the Rams. The Rams have to win. The Rams have to win.
They're going to, I think. But didn't they just beat them in the regular season, the 49ers?
Yeah. The Rams blew that game for the Niners to get in. This will be in LA, not in San Francisco. I'm pretty sure that last game was
LA.
This game will be in LA. Yeah. Jared Goff. I mean, sorry, I didn't mean Jared Goff. I mean, what's his face? Jimmy Garoppolo. They're basically the same fucking quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo has scored no touchdowns this postseason, and yet he is in.
Insane.
Is that not ridiculous? He has scored no touchdowns, and he is in.
And what is it that Patrick Mahomes had more yards in those last 13 seconds than Jimmy Garoppolo had the whole game or something like that?
That is probably accurate.
Was that it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That sounds right to me.
Fucking nuts.
It's crazy how bad a quarterback Jimmy G is, but just the rest. John Lynch and that front office in San Francisco has done such a good job building a roster, but they just don't have a quarterback. And they have Trey Lance waiting in the wings, who I'm assuming is going to take up the mantle next year. But right now you're in a fucking bind because your whole team is so good and you're winning with Jimmy G under center, but you're winning in spite of him. So it's kind of that one. I don't even care.
And they've got Trey Lance on the bench. I mean, I don't know how good. I mean, obviously he's not going to be playing in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong.
No, yeah.
That could be a good thing for the future for them, which is kind of crazy. I want to amend my previous statement. Patrick Mahomes did not have more yards than Jimmy Garoppolo in the last 13 seconds of regular time. He had more yards in the last 2 minutes plus OT, which is still insanity.
Still too many yards to have in the last 2 minutes in overtime. Just quite frankly silly. So with that, Sam, we're just gonna go ahead and move into the Doghouse. Brought to you by Wide Plank Floor Supply, because I've had enough talking about how fucking nuts that game was. Yes. Wide Plank Floor Supply. Visit their website at www.wideplankfloorsupply.com. Get a recommendation for a contractor. Get a quote. Wide Plank Floor Supply. If it's wide, they've got it. Sam, I understand. It's story time. Is that correct?
It is story time. Yeah.
Excellent.
So I'm gonna go out. I'm just going to start the story before Seamus pulls up the banner. So it's the first week of classes, and on Tuesday I had at 9 a.m. It's fundamentals of business. This is just an elective course I'm taking for my senior year because I needed a fourth course, and I heard this one was super easy and super cool. So I decided to take it. We get in there, and you know how the first day of class goes. You're sitting there, professor gives this little spiel, and then he says, everybody go around the room and introduce yourselves and maybe say a little fun fact about yourself. So here's where shit hits the fan. We go around. I say my fun fact is the same every time. Anytime anybody asks me, I say, hey, my name's Sam, and my fun fact is that I'm related to the founder of Rhode Island, which is very true. And it's just a fun fact that I do. Here is let me get through this. A kid who I've never seen before in my life, probably a freshman, goes, hey, my name is whatever. I don't remember his fucking name either. Let's just go with Jason. Hey, my name's Jason, and I'm from the main line right outside Philadelphia. And then another kid goes and says, hey, my name's Tyler, and I'm also from the main line right outside of Philadelphia. I'm like, the main line is like a made up thing. So like, how about you just say your town or outside of Philadelphia like the rest of us? Don't like be a douchebag and actually say, yeah, I'm from the main line.
No, see, what happens is you say the name of the town, and then the other person goes, oh, the main line, and then you go, yeah. That's what happens.
That's how you do it.
You don't open with the main line. You look like a total fucking stunat.
Yeah.
You look like a
douchebag.
Ass.
Yeah.
That's
and then
so
the biggest douchebag of them all, like these kids aren't even at the top of the douchebag list right now.
No,
the top of the douchebag list will bring it back to the fun fact. And so this kid, and I remember this kid's name perfectly because he said, hey, my name's Quinn, and I'm from Connecticut, and I can deadlift over 400 pounds. That was his fun fact, and the whole class just went.
No.
Yeah.
No, Quinn.
It happened. And he's from Connecticut, which I think is like the cherry
on
top.
That fucking sucks. So that's horrible.
Yeah.
I dated a Cowboys fan from Connecticut.
Oh.
Weird time.
Brian, what? I didn't know that.
Yeah, weird time. Should have married her too. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. So, yeah, that's fucked. I hate that. I'm still cringing.
Yeah,
I'm like getting
it's
sweaty.
Awful, dude.
Like,
it was awful. And I locked eyes with a kid that I knew was like from North Philly. And I was like we immediately looked at each other. I just met him on Sunday too. And he looked at me and I looked at him and I was like, bad. Bad. When both of those kids say that, they're from the main line.
Dude, you can't open. Nobody knows what that fucking is. Nobody cares. Like, not that nobody knows, but like that's not.
Nobody outside of the state of Pennsylvania is gonna know what the main line is, anyways. And the professor said that he was like, "Hey, I know where that is, but can you give like a little bit of a reference point?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, it's like right outside Philadelphia." Like
that's like saying that's like I don't know. You like I'm trying to think of something like that's just dumb. This is just dumb. Is my point? Is it's dumb and it's cringe, and I need to talk to all of these people, and I need to I need to study them so I understand.
I just want to know where they went to high school. That's where I want. That's what I want to know.
Dude, get their names. Get their names. We'll do a fucking campaign. We'll track them down.
Yeah, I will.
Send me the roster after class. I'll do some digging. I'll fucking find them.
The one kid I know who the one kid is not the one kid who said the introduction, but the kid that I know from Philadelphia went to Haverford. So yeah, that kid was cool.
Who was that?
But his name's Amari. I don't know. I don't know what his last name is, but
no idea.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. I think he's
fine,
Pierce.
but yeah.
I think he's Pierce's grade. So
Oh,
that's
yeah. I have no
before,
fucking idea.
after your time. Yeah,
Yeah, well after, not well after, but
Yeah.
conceptually long enough. But
Ryan, who
that's
do you
gonna-
have in the doghouse?
I've got fucking haters, dude. I'm putting the haters in the quote tweets.
Easily.
Look, man. Look, so we're on our fucking content grind. Seamus G is, he's cranking out those minute-long clips of the Wolves of Broad Street podcast that I
Killing
so
it,
very
by the
much
way.
enjoy to
Killing
watch
it.
and share with my family and friends. But so we put out one about Jonathan Gannon, basically where you and I are going back and forth. I put him in the doghouse because, Tom Brady scored 17 points on his defense straight. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? You said. And obviously, we don't include the whole reasoning. It's a minute. It's a fucking clip. It's meant to kind of pique people's interest. So you don't leave everything in.
So you go and get the rest of the context.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but
anyways,
people didn't like it. Two people really didn't like it. And so they're acting like what we were saying was such an indictment on Jonathan Gannon's character, when in reality it's just kind of if they want to hire him, it's fine. And we're just clearly laughing and joking around, and people are like, you sound like clowns. You guys are literally clowns. And I'm like, we're literally joking. So excellent. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm glad that we sound like clowns. That's literally the whole thing that we're doing here. But you can't expect the troglodytes to understand, Sam.
No.
You can't expect.
I thought you were gonna.
Can't expect morons on the timeline to have any fucking idea what's going on in the world at any point in time. So that's all right. But so just get in the doghouse, you fucking weenies. Don't. Also, clownish is not a word. You look like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
When you say clownish.
Clownish. You can just say like clowns. That's what clownish.
You guys sound like clowns. Yeah. You guys sound like dummies. But clownish.
Clownish.
Clown-esque. What are you, fucking? What is this? The French Dispatch? You fuck. All right. Seamus G, get in here because I understand you have a doghouse to share with us as well, and it should be pretty obvious to anybody. But please,
yeah. The Philadelphia Flyers organization is in the doghouse.
Yeah.
Chuck Fletcher, Dave Scott, Gritty, the entire social media team, everybody's in the doghouse. And to capitalize this point, I have a Seamus Says.
Perfect.
This is like the turducken of segments.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
It's everything. It's everything. John Madden would be so proud of us.
All right.
All right. They're hard to admire, a real dumpster fire. If I said things were looking up, I'd be a liar. The organization needs heat from the media, like the Inquirer. They constantly come up short. It's like they're from the Shire. Owned by a heartless Philadelphia empire. The situation's so dire that you too could be a Flyer.
Seamus, that was the best one yet.
That's easily the best one yet.
That was phenomenal.
Thank you. How to come with bars in there.
I love the way you experimented with meter and pacing.
Yes,
I really thought
that was
I thought it was
awesome.
excellent.
Meter rhyme scheme, it was awesome.
Was that an ABC DFG?
It was an A actually.
Yeah,
it was all the same one.
It was, yeah.
But
oh my goodness gracious!
The Philadelphia Flyers are absolutely brutal. We had Nick Sealer, who's a defenseman, playing left wing. So we had defensemen playing the forward position, which that's not good. We don't like that.
But Seamus, our organization reached its sole goal this season in getting Keith Yandel his Ironman streak. Shouldn't we take solace in that? Should this not be a successful season off of that alone? Because it seemed like that's what they poured all of their time and resources into, just keeping him on the ice.
Well, that's what the Flyers would like you to think.
Fuckers.
And you know what? 2 records were broken that night. The first record was 965 games played by Keith Yandel in a row. Ironman. Great guy. Awesome. Kevin Hayes' friend.
That's what this is. It's the fucking Kevin Hayes social club.
Yep. Yep.
This is straight up the Dorchester Racket Club or whatever. This is fucking ridiculous.
This is the JOB just outside of Boston Kevin Hayes fan club. Like this is what this is. Like it's pretty brutal. And so the other record was 13 losses in a row, gentlemen. We're almost there.
Awesome.
We're almost there.
I need 20.
Give me 20.
I need a 20-piece McNugget from the Philadelphia Flyers.
Right
I need
now.
history.
It's like that scene in what's it called? Moneyball. Like we're going to 20. We're going to 20.
Somebody tweeted that. I think was that you?
Was it? Oh, it was you. That's
I replied to a beer can brain tweet with it. But
Dude,
yeah, so you would think that the team wanted to, get the fans back on board. So State of the Union, State of the Flyers, Comcast is in the building today for a press conference. We're going to see what's going to happen. And you know what they did? They said, it is what it is. And that was it. That was basically it.
Dude, insulting. They're spending more time developing the Gritty Snacks app than they are fucking putting together and then didn't they hire a guy that was on that Blackhawks coaching staff, like the very controversial one?
Yep.
Why is he here?
Apparently he was one of the few that stuck up for, I think it's Kyle Beach.
Didn't do enough.
Yeah. Whatever. That's a whole.
If that's the single issue, you move on. But it shows a complete lack of awareness by the organization. Just one move after the next. In a vacuum, his hiring is not a problem. But you combine it with everything else that's going on, it's clear that they have no fucking clue what's going on.
That's the one move. That is the one move that they've done. And in the press conference, I took a couple notes. I was trying to listen in class. I was just scrolling through Twitter, just hoping like some Broad Street hockey Twitter would help me out. And this is what I got so far. They blamed injuries. They said we have a good core. They said that they like the players. Like they were focusing in on Sean Couturier, who's been hurt all season.
That's true.
Kevin Hayes, who is on his third procedure of this season for his groin injury. And then Joel Farabee, who's like, okay.
He's good, but
good.
Come on.
He's good. He's good. He's not great.
Don't try and sell that to me as a core.
They brought up Cam York so many times. I thought that he was Cale Makar. It was unbelievable.
Wow. You got one guy.
You got one guy that you drafted. Congratulations.
Wow. You fucking
You did your job once. Do you know how many draft picks there are? A lot.
So many. It's
So
closer to baseball than fucking basketball in terms of draft picks, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Dude, this is making me miss baseball. This is making me miss baseball.
Yeah, it is.
Fucked.
And we're not even going to get that.
Nope.
Gentlemen, this stunk. The Flyers stunk.
Hey, but your poem didn't. So
Thanks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was very good. I really.
You want to know what else didn't stink?
What?
The Doghouse, brought to you by Wide Plank Floor Supply. Visit their website at www.wideplankfloorsupply.com. Get a recommendation for a contractor. Get a quote. Wide Plank Floor Supply. If it's wide, they've got it. Obviously, go check out their showroom out in King of Prussia. Just Google Wide Plank Floor Supply. There's only fucking one.
Yeah.
There's only one, and it's the one to go to for all of your hardwood flooring needs. Your installing accessories. It's a one-stop shop. Wide Plank Floor Supply. Speaking of one-stop shops, Sam, we're just segue on segue.
Yeah, let's do it.
Joel Embiid has been a one-stop shop for buckets. The Philadelphia 76ers are so fortunate to have Joel Embiid right now on the team. He is absolutely incredible to watch in a Sixers uniform. Seamus G, can you pull up his scoring totals since Christmas? 40. Like, look at this. Only one game under 25, or only one game under 30 points. One shy of a consecutive 30-point game record in Sixers history. because, of course, it was a blowout and they had to sit him. But just look at this scoring output for Joel Embiid. He's finally back from COVID. It took him a little bit to get up to speed, and it's clear that the work he's put in to take care of his body, to get back on track faster, it's all paying off for our buddy Joel Embiid. He is absolutely shredding it, especially in his last 4 games. It has been absurd. Look at this, 42 points, 14 rebounds, 50% from the field. This was last night. 42 points, just casually, 38 points, 40 points, 50 burger against the Orlando Magic, 40 burger against the Los Angeles Clippers. They're not playing the greatest teams of all time right here, but look, there's no center that can match up with Joel Embiid, and it's clear. It is so easy for him to score, Sam.
I just don't understand the people that can still say that, oh yeah, Jokic should have been MVP. Like,
dude,
or Jokic still deserves to be MVP. Like, I can't see the logic behind any of that. We're watching Joel Embiid, and you know what? Yeah, maybe Jokic's passing ability and his other like facilitating stuff was better last year. Joel Embiid has been doing just the same. He's been doing the same thing this year. He's fully upgraded his facilitating ability, and it's not even close. I mean, and it's noticeable because there is no other facilitator besides maybe Tyrese Maxey on the court. It used to be Ben Simmons, but now Embiid's got to do that too because he's the fucking man. So it's just so frustrating to watch that we are blowing yet another historical. I mean, they're playing well right now. They're on a pretty good streak, but only because of Joel Embiid and the fact that management and the coach is bringing the season down on his head is just it's a travesty.
It is. Here's the thing. I understand where Daryl Morey's coming from in terms of, all right, look, if we move Ben Simmons and we just get a bunch of little pieces, like if we go the $1 for 4 quarters route for Ben Simmons, that doesn't really help this team actually become a title contender, is the problem.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, look, you got these 4 guys that are as slightly as good as all the guys you already have, and you need to play a tight rotation in the playoffs. We need a difference maker. We need a guy out there with look, there are issues with the roster itself that could be fixed. We need more on-ball creativity. We need more guys being able to create their own shot off the bounce. But we don't have guys that can do that. But if we are able to get a difference maker to put next to Joel Embiid, then that's where the rest of the pieces can kind of fall into place. But if we don't, if we're just going to get guys like Karis LeVert and guys that we can just kind of plug in that are just not lateral moves, but only minor upgrades, it really doesn't do anything better for Joel Embiid. And if anything, it's insulting to his intelligence to say, look at what we got you. He knows what it takes to win a title in this league.
Yeah.
He's watched it. He had Kawhi Leonard take the food out of his mouth in Game 7 back in 2019. He knows what it takes, how razor thin the margins are. So trading Ben and getting some, a bag of potato chips and Tyrese Halliburton is not going to change anything. And Seamus G says he has a stat sexual tweet ready, which I'm very excited to see. Oh my God.
Yes, I remember this. This was
this is fucked. This is fucked.
So this one is saying that, all right, so this tweet says Nikola Jokic has a better rebound. I'm not even going to go through all of these because the only ones that I recognize are rebounds, assists, and three-pointers. Is that 3-point? What is that? 3 PG?
3-pointers per game.
3-pointers per game. Okay.
Like,
Field
dude,
goal.
all this is so dumb.
DRTG. What the fuck is that? OWS, DWS, BPM.
Win shares, defensive
per minute? Is that what we're doing right now?
Dude, I hate that I know what these are now. It's like you got win shares, offensive win shares per 48 minutes. But here's the thing. Here's the great fallacy of NBA advanced analytics. And Sam, I'm sure you're familiar with the allegory of the cave, right? You see the outlines, you think that's what reality is. But in reality, there's so much more to it. There's so far more complexities to it than somebody living in that statistics cave could ever imagine. Here's the thing, Sam. The reason these analytics work so well in baseball is it's all stop and start. You get the ball, you throw the pitch, somebody tries to hit it. You can break that down. I mean, obviously there's still, situational baseball. We've discussed this, but the reason that those analytics work is because baseball is very binary. It's like, all right, hit, run, it's very concrete in the outcomes that can occur and, how they occur, how those start and stop. Meanwhile, basketball is incredibly fluid.
Yeah, free flowing.
It assumes that everything happens within the run of play, and that's the way that it happens every time. And then that also that assumes and draws it out over a full season, which is just not how basketball works. It never has been. It's like trying to. I mean, look, I don't want to be the guy that compares basketball to jazz. Everybody fucking has done that in their lives, but you can't go in and break down like a jazz standard the same way that you would break down something. You've taken music theory that's more concrete tonally, that's like trying to compare those two things. It's just different. It's just different. And they don't fully jive. So when people are trying to apply these things to especially Joel Embiid, whose game is so abnormal for a player his size, obviously Jokic can facilitate, but the way Joel Embiid handles like a guard, the way he has that dribble into a pull up, it's all something that's not something a stat's going to show you. No stat will ever show you how Joel Embiid plays the game of basketball. Look, he shoots like a guard. Jokic, he has that set shot. It's a catapult, whatever it goes in. Joel Embiid dribbles into a pull-up jumper like Kevin Durant. He right now in this phase of his career, he looks like Kevin Durant when he has the ball in his hands.
Nuts.
Should not be possible, but that doesn't show up in the stat sheet. That doesn't show up in the fucking value over replacement player. Doesn't show up in your true shooting percentage. None of that fucking bullshit. So I'm sick of it. It is the great lie that we have been told by Stat Muse and the other stat sexuals out there, Sam. And I've had it. Just shut up and enjoy the greatness. Okay.
VORP is like is that like the war of
it's
baseball?
like war.
That's what that is. Okay. VORP. It's a weird acronym for a
I hate it. Just use war.
VORP. Yeah,
just
like
war.
wins above replacement. Yeah.
Steal it. Nobody cares. It'll be fine.
Whatever. I don't know,
Sam. It's so frustrating that I have to sit and watch all of this crap.
Yeah, you got very philosophical there about the game about sports in general, actually, which was pretty.
Because you have to sometimes, Sam. If they want to reduce it down into these data points,
to numbers. Yeah, it's not all fucking numbers. Like it's concept. It's not concrete. Like it's.
If you're the kind of person that can go look at someone's basketball reference page or go look at just stats and say, hey, I know how the season played out and I know how these people played, then you're fucking lying to yourself and you're lying to other people. Like, you have to watch games to know what basketball is. You can't just look at the stat sheet and say, yes. You can't do that. There's and look, I don't want to take anything away from Jokic. I love Nikola Jokic. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA. But this toxicity and this emphasis on stats and this back and forth. Every time I see Joel Embiid did this, Nuggets fans come out of nowhere. Jokic did this, Sixers fans. Both sides are guilty. I can't just blame either. But just people need to shut up and enjoy the greatness. This is like Kanye versus Drake right now. And obviously Kanye is the winner, but people but people feel differently. And it's the same way with Joel Embiid. And look, Jokic has the streaming numbers. Okay, he's got all the statistical records, but there's something about Kanye's music that is more meaningful. Yeah. Well, it's the same with Embiid.
I got you.
And Jokic. And
if you're going back on your point for the the thing where you were saying that, like, if you just look at the stat sheet and then say, I know how this game played out, take a look at go to football. Look at Josh Allen. Like, he did all this. If you look at just his stats, you would think that he would have won the last two games that he's going to the AFC Championship. He's not, because that's not how the game played out. You got to watch the fucking game to see actually how good these players are that they're going up against and everything of that sort. So it's like it has to do with the opponent. Like, if you're going to look at the stat sheet, you're not going to see anything else other than the opponent's stats. Like, you're not going to see how well a particular player played against another particular player also. So that's a whole
context. Is completely removed.
Context, exactly.
It's ripped away. And look, they're like, hey, look, we added more numbers, we added more calculations to add context. I'm like, you know what? Fuck off. I already didn't like it when you did the math, and then you went and did more math. So let's just cut the shit. All right. Let's just move on. And real quick, I mean, Joel Embiid is a defensive juggernaut. Am I wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Nikola
you're
Jokic is
correct.
not as good a defender as Joel Embiid. Is that correct?
No, but people don't want to talk about that. So.
They don't.
Yeah.
So many people are like, oh, yeah, well, Jokic improved. He has a higher defensive rating. I'm like, nobody fucking cares about defensive rating.
Defensive
nobody
rating?
cares.
How do you rate defense?
Nobody fucking cares about and it's like people are like, oh, he gets more rebounds. I'm like, yeah, he doesn't contest shots. That's why he gets more rebounds. Look, man. Joel Embiid has to do everything for this basketball team on both ends of the floor.
Yeah.
Jokic can just throw his hands up and say, we're losing. We lost. I did everything I could. I stuffed the stab sheet, and we fucking suck still. Joel Embiid, people talk about how the Sixers have such a better team than the Nuggets. You take a look at this team without Seth Curry and Danny Green. This is a worse lineup than the Denver Nuggets.
I agree.
Maybe we have that little Tyrese Maxey edge, but this is not a good basketball team that Joel Embiid is literally carrying to the playoffs, carrying to a top seed. It's ridiculous that he is not getting. He's already getting a shit ton of love, but he needs more. He really, really does, because he's doing it in spite of everything. In spite of Ben Simmons saying, go fuck yourself. In spite of Doc Rivers not knowing how to rotate. Just so many things, so many forces are conspiring against Joel Embiid in this moment, and he is thriving on a level we haven't seen.
Gritty.
And it's incredible.
Incredibly gritty. Yeah. Have I ever told you how much I love the NBA? Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
I love the NBA, Sam.
I love the NBA. It's so great. But yeah, I can't believe we haven't even talked about Doc Rivers yet. I mean, you just brought him up. But I am so sick of this guy at coach. I don't think we talked about this. He came out, there was another stupid question or whatever that he didn't want to answer, and then he was an asshole about it. Have we talked about that one yet?
Would you ask Pop that? Did we not talk
about
that?
No, we haven't talked about that yet. Would you
Lots
ask
gone
Pop
down
that?
last
You
week.
really think that you're on the level of Greg Popovich? Are you really comparing yourself to one of the greatest NBA basketball coaches of all time, who's still in the league right now? And you're right. He has 5 fucking rings. You have 1 ring with 3 Hall of Famers in your roster.
4.
Who's the 4th?
Here's the thing: NBA. It's easier to get in the NBA Hall of Fame than you think.
Yes.
And Rondo is in there. I think Rondo's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, so
4 Hall of Famers, 3 All-Stars.
Yeah.
Sorry, the first ever super team, really, that was not made of just completely old stars. This is the first ever super team.
Yes,
so it is crazy to me that
he only got 1 out of it.
Take a look at where he's been. And people say he's won the most regular season games. Like, nobody in the league has more wins other than Popovich in the regular season. I'm like, yeah, but he has the most 3-1 leads blown in the playoffs. He had, of the top 10 leads blown in the playoffs in NBA history, Doc Rivers owns like 6 of them in terms of just a point differential in a game. So it's clear that he can't win in the playoffs. This is what it tells me with Doc Rivers. He goes to great teams. He's been on the Clippers with Chris Paul, number 1 overall pick Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Lob City, never got past the second round. And then he's come to Philly and he's doing the same shit. And he stacks up the regular season wins, leads you to a top 3 seed. And then guess what? You're not making it out of the fucking second round unless you have 5 All-Stars. Especially the way teams are constructed now with the kind of top-heavy nature of the NBA. Although this year it's as wide open as it's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
Partially because of COVID, partially just because of everything's just fucked. And partially because Brooklyn is in shambles. But with that said, Sam,
oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you.
Oh, okay. Do you see the Sixers upping their seeding within the next couple of weeks?
Let me see.
Do they get better? So let me rephrase. Do they get better after the trade line? Does Daryl Morey get off his ass and make something happen?
No. Okay. No, I don't think he does. I don't think he does at all. Now, one thing that is kind of interesting is just the East is so packed right now. So the Heat are the number 1 seed with 30 wins, and the Sixers are the 6th seed with 28.
Wow.
There are 1, 2, 3 teams with 30 wins, 2 with 29, and us with 28.
That's unreal. I didn't even know
So
that.
we're right in there right now. So the East is wide open, and Joel Embiid is really the only thing keeping us where we are right now. If we don't move Ben Simmons by the trade deadline, We might make a move that makes us a little bit better. We might get out from under Tobias Harris's contract, which would be nice, but we are not going to have anything without moving Ben Simmons. We're not competing for a title. I'm sorry. Unless Joel Embiid literally scores 50 points a game and goes full fucking Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
Unless Joel Embiid goes full fucking MJ and just lights the league on fire, which he could possibly do. He could possibly do that. But as it stands right now, no, the Sixers are not contending for any kind of title as constructed.
Well, yeah, I mean, the next guy, Seamus is chiming in here. He's saying Brooklyn is 5-5 in their last 10, and they've got their own problems. I mean, they can't figure out what the fuck to do with Kyrie Irving. I mean, he's only playing away games right now, and
Katie's hurt. Harden's coming up on the end of his deal. He didn't sign that extension he was supposed to.
Yep.
So there's rumblings of him coming here for Ben Simmons. There's rumblings of a sign and trade in the offseason with Ben Simmons and him.
Would that be possible to do this during? I didn't think that Morey was trying to move Ben Simmons for Harden now. I kind of figured it was. I kind of just got the vibe that he was going to do it again in the offseason and do a whole new deal.
That's the thing is that people. It's not that he wouldn't do it now. If you go, hey, Daryl, James Harden for Ben Simmons right now, straight up, he says yes. Right now, he says yes.
Oh yeah, which I would too. I mean,
yeah,
that's easy money.
Or even whatever package they want for a rental of James Harden. Because they can't charge that much for 6 months left on his deal. For less than half a season left on his deal, they can't really charge it that much. So yeah, we'll go. Hey, Ben Simmons, James Harden, boom.
Yeah,
Daryl Morey does that deal, but Brooklyn doesn't want to do that obviously because they want to try and win right now. And obviously, if they try and win and they win, then James Harden will probably stay in Brooklyn. But you take a look at what's going on with Katie's injuries, with Kyrie just not giving a fuck about basketball. It seems like literally being a part-time player. James Harden's frustrated. So he may not force his way out, but he may be like, you know what? I'm fucking done with this. I came here. It was supposed to be something. It wasn't. I just wasted 3 years of my career with you fucking bozos, or 2 years of my career with you bozos. And now I'm going to go to Philly and try and win shit.
Yeah. I agree.
It's interesting.
Steven in the chat is saying we got to trade Tobias before the deadline. And then do you think Harden wants to play with that scrub? Honestly, I think we take a little bit. I think that takes a little bit of the heat off of Tobias Harris. If we say we don't move Tobias Harris and we do bring in Harden, that definitely takes some of the heat off of Tobias
my God,
Harris.
yeah. That then puts him back in that third option where he needs to be, where he thrives.
Yeah.
But if we could trade Tobias Harris, yeah. I don't know how we do it. I don't know what we get. Get him out of here, please. I've had enough. I don't care that he had 30 points last night. Nobody fucking cares.
Yeah. I don't think it's a matter of if Harden wants to play with Tobias Harris. But
he definitely doesn't though.
No, yeah. But
it definitely probably doesn't. But
it's a weird thing. I don't know.
There should be a line of NBA All-Stars out the door right now at the Wells Fargo Center, with resume in hand.
Yeah.
Like the old days. You just pick up the phone and call. You just walk right in there and ask for the job. What are they going to do? Say no? Just come in and say, hey, I want to play with Joel Embiid. Daryl Morey's not going to say no. He'll do what it takes to get you here.
Mm-hmm.
Why everybody needs to want to be here in Philadelphia to play with Joel Embiid.
I just don't understand. Daryl Morey, he came in here and bang, 3 moves right off the bat. And now all of a sudden he's just sitting on his ass, doing nothing. What is he just wait? What is he actually waiting for?
A difference maker. Like I said, man, he's not going to move Ben to get fucking jack shit back. And then
I just don't see that happening though. I don't see us getting anything but a couple of.
I'd rather have Ben Simmons not just have Ben Simmons sit and we deal with the guys we got right now than trade Ben Simmons for players that aren't going to legitimately give us a shot at the title. And I don't care. I don't care if people are like, I don't want Ben Simmons to be here anymore. I don't give a fuck. What I care about is winning. I care about winning basketball games. And if we trade Ben Simmons and we don't get guys that are going to increase our win total by a lot,
but dude,
I don't give a fuck.
Do that by the trade deadline. Literally get off your ass.
Nobody wants to do that. You can't do it. Nobody wants to do it. Is what it seems like.
I know, but
part of it too is I don't think they.
Are you saying that nobody in the front office wants to do it, or no other teams want to do that trade?
No other teams want Ben Simmons right now.
Okay, so then what makes them what's going to make them want to do it in the offseason then, if it comes to that?
Well, then that's where we go. Ben Simmons, James Harden, sign and trade.
Okay,
because they're going to lose. The Nets are going to lose him anyway to free agency. might as well get something back if that something is a fucking 3-time All-Star, defensive player of the year runner-up.
Right.
Kind of a no-brainer for Brooklyn, kind of a no-brainer for us. Now, what I don't like is paying a 33-year-old James Harden $40 million a year. I don't really like that.
But he's pretty fucking
I don't really
good.
like that.
I mean, he's
really good, but he's declining. I mean,
yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what happens there. But it does kind of feel inevitable that James Harden does end up in a Sixers uniform, if not by the trade deadline, most likely not by the trade deadline in the offseason. But that's what it's looking like here. That's what it's looking like here. That we're just not going to see a deal. Now, would I like to see a deal by February 10th? Yes. Would I like a deal to go down while we have Kevin McCormick live on the air?
Yes.
February 9th? Yes.
So
I would
cool.
love that. It'd be incredible. But we'll see what
content.
happens there, Sam. We'll see what happens.
You imagine if we actually did that deal with James Harden back when he got that deal with the Nets, Ben Simmons and Maxey and what was it, Matisse for Harden, and then go and play the Hawks.
We should probably lose that series.
You think? As far as I'm concerned, the guy who lost us that series, I mean, other than Doc Rivers was the man.
Yeah.
We agreed on Doc Rivers, but the guy that lost that series wouldn't have been on the roster at that point.
He lost us that series too. Is like that's the worst part, and people are like, "Man, I stand with Ben Simmons." Like, you kill yourself. I don't mean that, but I don't mean that. But like, shut the fuck up, dude. You're wrong. You're in the wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Get your head out of your ass.
Before we end it off, do we want to do like a quick 3-minute Phillies thing? Like maybe
the fuck's going on there?
I don't know, maybe just some rumors. I mean, potential.
Lay some rumors on me, Sam.
Lay some rumors on me. Like a little Kyle Schwarber rumor. I don't know. Maybe
a little Kyle Schwarber rumor
piques my interest pretty good. Which is awesome. As Seamus is saying, as long as there's a DH in the NHL in the NL. God, I need baseball to come back so bad. It's as long as that happens, then I'm cool with bringing him in. Other than that, I saw a Kiermaier rumor, Kevin Kiermaier rumor. That'd be pretty cool to have him in the outfield.
He's a weirdo.
He is a little bit.
He's kind of a weirdo,
which is fine. I love it. I love a little personality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But who's in left?
It's a good question.
Seamus G wants to know. I want to know.
I don't know. I mean, if they don't do the DH stuff, then maybe you can throw Kyle Schwarber in left. I mean, he played outfield for the Dodgers and stuff.
Can we put Vince Velasquez in left field?
Not the Dodgers, the Cubs. Sorry.
Can we put Vince Velasquez in left field?
I would rather not.
Have someone DH for him when Wheeler's on the mound.
You have a really interesting mind. You know that? You have
Sam,
really
I have a mind that would win baseball games. I would be I would be a better manager than Joe Girardi right now.
It's not the manager that I'm concerned about. It's the office. It's the owner.
Yeah.
It's the
Sleepy Dave just took another Valium. So it could be another month. Dude, they're in hibernation right now, pretty much. Lockout.
I know, which is why I'm like not totally on my Phillies game, but I wanted to just like plant the seed.
Did you see Christian Yelich's tweet?
No.
There's
I did.
An article where it's like it's like lockout, and it's a lock with a chain over a ball and a bat, and he goes, "Wait, so forgive me if I'm not fully up to speed here, but like if we can just take the lock off the ball, like can we play?"
Yeah, if we just lift the ball out of
that's such
chain,
a Silvana question. It really.
Oh man, yeah. I just wanted to plant the seed a little bit. Phillies. I can do a little more research and maybe put together a potential lineup for
next episode's your episode, dude.
I could do that.
It's the Eric Lindros episode.
Let's go. Wait, shit. Is that just gonna be me getting absolutely railed like for an entire episode?
Maybe. I don't know. Okay. Probably just be a normal episode.
All right. That's cool. 88, baby. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Wow. And Sam, if you've got nothing else,
Yeah, I got nothing.
fucking.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this edition of the Wolves of Broad Street podcast. This was number 87 because the next one is 88, and that's the Eric Lindros episode. So make sure you follow at Wolves of Broad ST on all the social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that good stuff. On YouTube as well, the Wolves of Broad Street. We've got a big shout out to the Liberty Line, thelibertyline.com. Check out all those sick blogs and the other podcasts on the network as well. Big shout out to Drew Smith and Victor Williams. Actually, just kidding. And follow me at Sam Glavin 06, at Ryan Conway 76, at Shamelessly SG. Seamus G, close it down.